The QJB201, the most recent LMG to have been added to Delta Force in Season 2. Now this LMG fires the same type of ammo as the CI-19 and has a lot of the same modification options. It is the second fastest firing LMG available to the Engineer class, the fastest firing one being the M249, but the QJB201 is nothing to scoff at, especially when you get to the modding part and you make something really awesome with it. And in today's video, I actually did something a little bit different. I have two builds for all of you today, so one that's more aimed towards medium to longish range combat, and one that's mostly focused on CQB type engagements. So starting off with a blank slate here, I'm going to go with the CQB version first. So you're going to want to equip the new type Fang short barrel. So this gives you increased control, increased handling, and also increased accuracy at the slight cost of stability, but gives you a lot of new slots. So go ahead and equip that. And then I calibrated this barrel with plus 50 grams to increase the firing stability by 4%, and I shortened the length by 10 millimeters to give me plus 3% ADS speed. For the muzzle attachment, I put a Bastion horizontal compensator on here, and this applies to both of my builds because if you look at the control here, it's got a lot of horizontal recoil up and to the left, so I wanted to just correct that slightly, which is why I went with this specific muzzle device. For the gas block on this build, I chose to go with the new type rapid gas block, so you're losing a lot of range here and losing a little bit of control, but for this specific build, that's fine because I'm going for mostly CQB, and it's also increasing your fire rate by a substantial amount. So you're bumping it up from 785 all the way up to 827 RPM. At 21 damage a shot, you're doing roughly the same DPS as with the M249, so go ahead and equip that. As for the foregrip, I chose to go with the X25U angled combat foregrip to get increased accuracy and increased control, and then I calibrated this with a +2 slot and plus 20 millimeters to get that plus 16% stability when moving, which you will be doing a lot in CQB, and then plus 4% extra control. As for the mag, I chose to keep the box mag on here, so you have 125 rounds to mow down enemies with in CQB, which is never a bad idea. For the rear grip, I went with the new type Vanguard light grip to increase the handling further and also increase the control, so go ahead and equip that. And then I calibrated this with plus 50 grams to get plus 6% extra control and plus 20 millimeters to get plus 16% stability when moving. For the stock, I chose to go with the Shadow buffer tube stock to get plus 10 handling, plus 2 control. So the ADS time on this weapon is actually going to be really quick, even if you don't lose the tactical stance. And then I calibrated this with plus 50 grams as well as plus 3 slots, so giving you plus 3.84% firing stability and another plus 6% control. For the optic, I just chose to go with my preferred optic, which is the Mini RDS. Calibrate this how you see fit. And then I went ahead and equipped 5 Hornet handguard panels here to really bump up the accuracy so that hip firing is just pretty much dead center where you're shooting in CQB. So go ahead and equip 5 of those, and that'll bring your total accuracy up to 86, which is insane for an LMG. And then for the left rail, I chose to go with the PEQ2 red laser light combo. Whatever you want here is fine. So that is my CQB build here, and as you can see in the firing range, the hip fire is pretty decent, and even at range it's not too bad to control. So that's like 50 meters out, and like jumping, you can see the hip fire is just freaking crazy. So for the second build, I chose to build it a little bit more like an AR. So we're going to start off by putting the new type sledgehammer barrel on here, so increasing your range, control, and stability at the cost of accuracy and handling. That's not too much the end of the world. And then we'll calibrate this with plus 50 grams and plus 10 millimeters to increase the muzzle velocity and increase the firing stability. As for the muzzle device, as the other build, I put the Bastion on here to really attempt to mitigate that left recoil that honestly we don't really want that much, so put that on there. For the gas block, I chose to go with the new type stable gas block for this one, so it slightly reduces your fire rate, but it's still really fast for an LMG, and 21 damage per shot, you're still doing decent damage. But it also increases the range by plus 6, so now you're doing 21 damage at 52 meters, which is really good. Equip that. Then for the foregrip, I chose to also equip the X25U angled combat foregrip here, so giving us plus 10 control, so go ahead and install that, and then calibrate this with plus 2 slots, giving us further control. For the mag on this one, I actually chose to go with the 5.8 new type 60 round drum mag, so giving us even further control and a little bit of an increase in handling, which is why I'm saying I built this more like an AR. For the rear grip, I chose to go with the new type sword heavy grip, so so giving us further control, slight cost on handling, and increase in stability. Moving on to the stock here, I went with the Skeleton Sniper stock, so this gives us +8 handling and +6 stability because we lost a lot of that with all the other attachments that we put on there at the cost of a little bit of control and a little bit of accuracy, but that's not too much of the end of the world for this build here. And then I calibrated this with +50 grams and +2 slots, so increasing the aiming stability while breathing and also increasing the control. Almost done here for the optic, my favorite MIDI RDS. And then finally for all of these four here, I just chose to put the KC Hound Guard panel because that stability is really good at range and the lens firing stability is going to be super stable here, so that's why I chose to go with that. So put that on the 4 slots here. And then finally, I chose to put a laser on the left here, so I just chose to go with the Pursed 7 blue light laser light combo, but you can put whatever you want in this case. So we get that tactical holding stance, increase in accuracy when it's on, and also the increase in handling. So that is my build for the QJB201 for longish to medium range combat. It still does very well in CQB, it's just not necessarily built for that. So in maps like Shafted and Knife Edge, I mostly use the CQB build, and then in maps that have longer sight ranges like Ascension or Trench Lines or stuff like that, I kind of prefer this build, but both are very good and it's overall pretty fun weapon to use. I think it's probably one of the better weapons that they released with Season 2. So in order to unlock the QJB201 light machine gun, you can either go get the secret protocol crate in operations on Zero Dam. There'll be a card up in the top right corner if you want to unlock it that way, or you can simply unlock it through the armory now, which wasn't available until I think a few days ago. In order to use the long medium range build, you'll have to have the weapon leveled up to 53 for the 60 round drum mag, and as for the CQB build, it'll need to be leveled up to 50 for the shadow buffer tube stock. So overall, I think this weapon is not going to necessarily knock your socks off. There's other options in the LMG class that are arguably better than the QJB201, but I was still having a lot of fun with it, especially with that fast-firing CQB build that I made. It's blazing fast to shoot. You're doing 21 damage per shot, and it handles somewhat reasonably well for an LMG, especially with that 125 round box magazine. You have so much ammo to mow down people, so even in things like attack and defend, it'll probably be very, very good. And as for the other one, it was mostly built like an AR. I know the engineer class has a lot of ARs available to them, but I just wanted to make something a little bit different for the QJB201, and ended up actually liking the build that I came up with. Even though the handling's kind of abysmal, you can use the tactical holding stance to ADS faster and then swap to your RDS, but as a whole, it shoots really fast and you're doing really good damage at range, which is why I quite enjoyed using it how I set it up with the 60 round mag and like the longer barrel and all that. In any case, both of these weapon builds share codes will be in the description down below, as well as in the top pinned comment. If you've unlocked the QJB201 yet, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. I'll leave you with a few highlight clips of me using either of these builds. In any case, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thanks very much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.